logo appears, AAPD, American Association of People with Disabilities. A title reads Lawrence Carter Long, 2010 Paul G. Hearne Award Honoree. In a dance class, a man pumps his arms.
Lawrence Carter Long has no problem with you calling him Gimp. In fact, that's the name of his dance troupe.
People ask me now, what do you do for a living? And I'll say, well, when am I doing it? You know, one of the answers that I can truly give now is say, I'm a professional dancer. And usually people will go, huh, what? Yeah, right. I'll say, no, really.
Choreographer Heidi Latsky created this disabled dance company, and it's just a small part of a push to showcase all types of disability.
Lawrence Carter Long, Disabilities Network of New York.
People are afraid of people with disabilities. There's seldom a day that goes by when I'm not walking through the store and a child who's maybe 4, 5, 6-year-old says to their parent, Mommy, why does he walk that way? And 9 times out of 10, that parent always stops them, shakes them, shushes them, and says, shh, don't do that. Well, newsflash, I know that I walk differently. And if we don't have a space where everybody can talk about it, that child is always going to be wondering, oh, this is something I can't talk about because Mommy shut me up.
And no one silences Lawrence.
They could reallocate $10 million.
At a below-freezing midwinter rally, Lawrence joined other New Yorkers demanding lawmakers stop citywide transportation cuts.
If these cuts happen, what you're telling people with disabilities in New York City is to stay in your house.
Activist Edith Prentice.
Lawrence, by using the media, has gotten the word out more than those of us who have been doing this for 20, 30 years.
Lawrence started this dance in the disability spotlight as a 5-year-old United Way poster child.
In a poster, young Lawrence walks with leg braces.
My line back then was to say, thanks to you, it's working. Thanks to you, I'm walking. You know, on some level, it's almost like saying, you don't want to end up like this messed up kid, do you?
But even at that age, Lawrence knew his disability was a distinction, and he decided to make sure people with every disability got a fair shake when it came to housing and transportation with his New York-based Disabilities Network. Lawrence is exploding disability stereotypes with his Dis This Film Festival, showcasing films that tell the disability community's story without any sad heroics.
He greets a man wearing a suit.
Lawrence spends most of his day debating, convincing, arm-twisting, simply telling the truth about people with disabilities.
Wheelchair users have one issue, people with vision impairment have other issues. That's what Lawrence really is. He's a great conductor, so to speak, of the various instruments of the disabilities community.
Assemblyman Micah Kellner. Lawrence works with a student.
This is what that shows, like an example right there in terms of access.
Thanks to Lawrence, many young disabled New York students now have a place to learn filmmaking. They're letting the rest of the world know their story and find work and independence.
Disabled people have like extra lens to see society and to analyze societal culture from our perspective.
Teacher Akini Mashida.
And this is a great way to introduce how we see our society.
And this is a bus with
Showtime Networks picked up his campaign to get more accessible public transportation.
A TV ad.
There are about 13,000 taxis in New York City, but only 29 of them are wheelchair accessible.
That was in 2005. Today, there are nearly 300 accessible taxis in New York City. Even Mayor Bloomberg has publicly stated his goal to make all New York City taxis accessible, after Lawrence and his Disabilities Network held the first ever transportation town halls.
The buses were not accessible in New York City. We took to the streets.
Public protests, private phone calls, splashy film festivals, extraordinary performances, all to make sure the world accepts and includes all people with disabilities.
Disability is the only minority that you can join in an instant. You step up the curb the wrong way, boom, you're in the club. How do you go back to work? How do you get up the stairs? How do you vote using the new machines? I am disabled, and I am proud, and I can't imagine not being disabled. I've met amazing people, I've been able to do some amazing things. Everybody should have those kind of opportunities.
A logo, AAPD, American Association of People with Disabilities. This program has been described by the Media Access Group at WGBH.